Focus is one of the most valuable skills in today's world, where distractions are abundant and attention spans are short. But how can we improve our focus and avoid getting sidetracked by irrelevant or trivial matters? One possible answer is to learn from the ancient philosophy of Stoicism, which teaches us how to live with wisdom, courage, justice, and self-control. Stoicism is not a set of rigid rules or dogmas, but rather a practical guide for living well and achieving happiness. It helps us to understand what is in our control and what is not, and to focus on the former while accepting the latter. It also helps us to cultivate a calm and rational mind, which can resist the influence of emotions, impulses, and external events. In this video, we will explore some of the key Stoic lessons and principles that can help us sharpen our focus and become more productive, effective, and fulfilled. We will also provide some examples and exercises that you can apply to your own life. Do you want to improve your focus? Stay until the end of this video to prove to yourself that you have what it takes to focus. Before we begin, take a moment to subscribe to our channel and hit the notification bell. We appreciate every effort from our viewers to help us grow and reach more people who need our content. Lesson 1. Know what is in your control and what is not. One of the core tenets of Stoicism is the dichotomy of control, which states that there are things that are in our control and things that are not. The only things that are in our control are our own thoughts, opinions, judgments, actions, and reactions. Everything else, such as other people's behavior, events, outcomes, circumstances, and even our own body and health, are not in our control. Why is this important for focus? Because it helps us to avoid wasting time and energy on things that we cannot change or influence, and to concentrate on the things that we can. It also helps us to reduce stress, anxiety, and frustration, which can impair our focus and performance. For example, imagine that you have an important presentation to deliver at work. You have prepared well and practiced your speech, but on the day of the presentation, you encounter some unexpected problems. Your laptop crashes, the projector doesn't work, the audience is bored or hostile, etc. How do you react? If you focus on the things that are not in your control, such as the technical issues or the audience's reaction, you will likely feel angry, nervous, embarrassed, or disappointed. You will lose your confidence and your focus, and your presentation will suffer. But if you focus on the things that are in your control, such as your own attitude, preparation, and delivery, you will be able to remain calm, composed, and focused. You will accept the situation as it is and do your best with what you have. You will not let external factors affect your internal state. A simple exercise to practice this lesson is to make a list of all the things that are bothering you or distracting you right now. Then divide them into two categories, things that are in your control and things that are not. For each thing that is not in your control, ask yourself, can I change it or influence it? If not, then let it go and move on. For each thing that is in your control, ask yourself, what can I do about it? Then take action or make a plan. Lesson 2. Live according to nature. Another key principle of Stoicism is to live according to nature, which means to live in harmony with yourself, with others, and with the world. To live according to yourself means to act in accordance with your rational nature, which is your highest faculty and your true self. To live according to others means to treat them with kindness, respect, and justice as fellow human beings who share the same rational nature. To live according to the world means to accept its laws and order, as well as its beauty and diversity. Why is this important for focus? Because it helps us to align our goals and actions with our true values and purpose, and to avoid distractions that are contrary to them. It also helps us to appreciate the present moment and the opportunities that it offers us. For example, imagine that you have a personal project that you are passionate about and want to pursue. But you also have many other obligations and commitments that demand your time and attention. How do you balance them? If you live according to nature, you will prioritize your project over other distractions that are not aligned with your values or purpose. You will also respect your own limits and needs, as well as those of others who may depend on you or support you. You will not neglect your health, relationships, or responsibilities for the sake of your project. You will also enjoy the process of working on your project, rather than obsessing over the outcome or comparing yourself with others. A simple exercise to practice this principle is to reflect on your current goals and activities. Are they consistent with your true nature? Are they meaningful and fulfilling? Are they beneficial for yourself and others? If not, then consider changing them or letting them go. If yes, then focus on them with gratitude and enthusiasm. Lesson 3. Use the power of reason. One of the main virtues of Stoicism is wisdom, which is the ability to use reason to judge what is good and bad, right and wrong, true and false. Reason is the tool that enables us to understand ourselves, others, and the world, and to make rational decisions and actions. Reason is also the source of our freedom, as it allows us to choose how we respond to any situation. Why is this important for focus? Because it helps us to avoid being swayed by emotions, impulses, biases, or opinions which can cloud our judgment and distract us from our goals. It also helps us to solve problems, overcome challenges, and learn from mistakes. For example, imagine that you are working on a difficult task that requires a lot of concentration and creativity. But you also feel tired, bored, frustrated, or anxious. How do you cope? If you use the power of reason, you will not let your emotions or impulses take over. You will recognize them as natural and normal, but not as guides for action. You will also examine the causes and consequences of your feelings and try to change them or cope with them in a constructive way. You will also use reason to find the best way to approach your task, to break it down into manageable steps, to seek feedback or help if needed, and to evaluate your progress and results. A simple exercise to practice this virtue is to challenge your thoughts and beliefs. Whenever you catch yourself thinking or saying something negative, irrational, or unhelpful, ask yourself, is this true? Is this useful? Is this fair? Then try to find evidence or arguments that support or contradict your thought or belief. If you find that it is false, useless, or unfair, then replace it with a more positive, rational, or helpful one. If you find that it is true, useful, or fair, then reinforce it with more evidence or arguments. Lesson 4. Practice self-discipline. Another main virtue of Stoicism is self-control, which is the ability to regulate our thoughts, emotions, and actions in accordance with our reason and values. Self-control is the skill that enables us to resist temptations, distractions, and habits that are harmful or unproductive, and to cultivate habits that are beneficial or productive. Self-control is also the source of our happiness, as it allows us to live in harmony with ourselves and others. Why is this important for focus? Because it helps us to avoid procrastination, multitasking, and perfectionism, which can undermine our focus and performance. It also helps us to set realistic goals, plan our time and resources effectively, and follow through with our plans. For example, imagine that you have a deadline approaching for an important project that you have been working on for a long time. But you also have many other tasks and activities that compete for your attention. How do you manage them? If you practice self-discipline, you will not postpone your project until the last minute or try to do everything at once. You will also not obsess over every detail or try to make everything perfect. You will prioritize your project over other, less important or urgent tasks and activities. You will also allocate enough time and resources for your project and stick to your schedule and budget. You will also reward yourself for your efforts and achievements. A simple exercise to practice this virtue is to monitor your behavior and habits. Whenever you catch yourself doing something that is detrimental or irrelevant to your focus or goals, ask yourself, why am I doing this? What are the costs and benefits of this behavior? How can I stop or change it? Then try to find alternative behaviors or habits that are more conducive or relevant to your focus or goals. If you catch yourself doing something that is beneficial or relevant to your focus or goals, ask yourself, how can I continue or improve it? Then try to reinforce or enhance your behavior or habits. Let's conclude the video and examine what we have learned. Focus is a skill that can be learned and improved with practice and guidance. Stoicism is a philosophy that can provide us with valuable lessons and principles that can help us sharpen our focus and achieve more in life. By applying the Stoic lessons of knowing what is in our control and what is not, living according to nature, using the power of reason and practicing self-discipline, we can become more focused, productive, effective, and fulfilled.